Out. What happened, man? Who you been fighting?
Man, I was coming in the garage
Okay.
and I fell.
Why'd you fall, man?
I tripped and fell flat on my face, man.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's why I got them scars up there on my nose.
Hey,
I guess the
you
nose.
believe that?
The
You
nose.
believe that, man?
Yeah, I heard it.
Wait a minute now. Hey,
He tried to get some of my pity.
hey, Bill, look. I done seen you on there with a couple scars on your head now. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing to you, you know.
Okay.
I figured Agnes may have went upside that head or something, you know. So I ain't want to say nothing to you.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I was coming into the garage, man, and got one of them little outdoor carpets out there, man, and I didn't have my shoes. Didn't have my shoes on. Had some slides on, man, and my foot got hung up.
Well, that can happen.
Man, I mean, I tried to catch myself, man, but I guess I ain't have enough strength in my arms to keep my face from kissing the floor, you know.
Wow.
So
You didn't have to go to the hospital, did you?
no.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, my wife, man, told me she gonna tell my doctor the next time. You know how to ask you questions. Have you had a fall or something like that?
Oh yeah,
Every time.
Well, hell, he don't need to know that, man. I mean, that wasn't no fall. That was a trip. To me, a fall. To me, I was telling her a fall is when you just walking around normal and your ass just fall out. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Okay.
I might be wrong. But that's the way I feel about it.
Well, that sidewalk or rug gets in your way. That's a fall too.
That's a fall too. Mm. Yeah, Bobby Jones.
What's going on, gentlemen?
It's your world, man. It's your world. Who's that? Smitty coming in.
I'm in.
Mac, you got some more snow, didn't you?
Yeah, well, a couple of inches, ain't not that much.
This is this the worst winter you guys seen in a while, or what?
A little while, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey,
Yeah, I know y'all been getting it, man.
Yeah.
hey.
When did y'all get something today, or was it yesterday?
Yesterday,
Yesterday. How
probably
much
get
you
a
get?
little more. This week too. I don't know.
Is that
Hell,
right?
it was 40 degrees here today, man.
Damn.
People walk around with shorts and white beaters.
What? Wow. What about you there, Bob? You looking all
No, man.
puzzled, man. You all right?
Yeah. I'm trying to I'm in these apps right now. Nah, I'm good, man.
Mm.
Everything around here, all right, man. Just, trying
Mm-hmm.
to trying to set some things up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what.
Smitty, you good?
I'm good. It's starting to warm up here a little bit, man. It's
Uh-huh.
35 degrees today. I knocked the rest of the ice off of everything. So
Uh-huh.
almost back to normal.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, man, wait for you to come on and see what you think about old boy come up there and had him remove the those plaques off of the president's house up there in Philly.
Oh, I missed that one. You know what? They never cease to amaze me as the stuff they're doing. I've seen hell when they removed the grave sites at Arlington, right? I was through with them then. I was through with them. And
Yeah.
it's Black History Month, so he feel he need to step it up a notch and just insult us more than he would normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just never surprised by the stuff that he does. At this point, I expect anything.
Yeah. He had them come out there, man. I mean, and it's not like they just come out there with tools, to take them down. They
Right.
come out there with crowbars, man, and just just prying the shit off the wall, you know, like it's garbage.
Right, right.
You know, no respect.
And that's the entire point of what they're trying to do. Because basically his regime is saying, and they're all a bunch of white supremacists. We start with that. And what they're saying is we're erasing black people from history. And that is when he was talking about make America great again, that was his whole goal, was to erase people of color, black, brown, right, Latino. He wants to erase all of them from American history. The only people he wants in the history books are white people. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
They're not even being subtle about it. The first regime, he was subtle about it. He wasn't just blatant about it. Now he's over the top. Hey, this is who I am. And the older he gets, the more senile he gets, and the more he gets into his element that, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing. That's going to be my legacy to America, is I'm going to make America as white as possible. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what it's all about. Everything that he does, that's what you want to know it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's no secret. I just want to make America white again.
Yeah.
Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance, all them guys are of the same mindset, is that they want to make America as white as possible. The big thing is they're trying to roll back the demographics. The demographics are going to happen regardless, because there's more brown people coming in than there are white people. So they're trying to put the brakes on it and slow it down a little bit. But the demographic shift, I don't know if you guys read when they talked about the fact that by 2035, 2036, that it'll be a majority brown country, period. And so what that basically did was that scared the shit out of all these billionaires, all these tech billionaires, like, oh my God, we're going to look up and brown people are going to be running the country. And when Barack Obama got elected, that's when the light really came on. Hey, we need to speed this up, because the next president going to be Hispanic, right? The next one going to be Asian, and they don't want to share the table. That's all this is about.
Yeah. I feel you. On that, Smitty. You know, and again, you know, this being Black History Month, Bill, you had said something a couple times. I believe was it your grandfather or your great grandfather was a slave, right?
My great grandfather, yeah.
Great grandfather.
Yeah.
So now, and the what was it, 1807? Is that when they stopped the importation of slaves into the country? About that time frame, it became against the law to bring slaves in
officially.
Right. So, and you said your grandfather, how many kids, Bill?
You talking about my great grandfather?
Your great grandfather.
23.
Wow.
So basically, at that time, he was probably on one of those. I guess you call them reproduction slave plantations, huh?
No, I don't think he. I don't know. I don't think he was. I read a book that was written about an organization that said he didn't want to see the extinction of the African people in America. That's kind of what it said in a book that was written that mentioned him. But he, I don't know. No, he man. I don't know if he was on one of those Mississippi feedlots, I guess they call them, breeding place. The only modern thing I can think about is where you breed cattle. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were breeding black folks like they breeding cattle, man, at one time.
Absolutely.
It's a book I have in here. that I got, man. It's called The Unwritten History of Slavery, and it's interviews with 32 ex-slaves from Tennessee and Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that two chapters in there that just stick in my mind. One is they treated stock better, and stock
Mm-hmm.
was cows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other one was every Thursday was whipping day.
Mm.
Mm.
Uh, I had this book when I was facilitating race relations in the military way back. Y'all don't know about that, but I was one of the early teachers of when we started social actions in the military.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
remember.
remember
So,
social action.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
so I was facilitating that. So I had this book, and I used to read. Some of the brothers would get a little upset, but I say, unless you know where you came from, you don't know where you are or where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And
Amen.
I gave the book away to Chief Master Sergeant that had worked with me in social actions down in Texas. And then when I bought this new one, man, it cost me about $300 for a book. And then I sort of get a brand new one. Will cost you a mint. You can find the book up on Amazon sometimes. It's called A Unwritten History of Slavery. And
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing what people talk about. Where do you
Mm.
get the word uh, MF from? Where does that
Mm-hmm.
come from?
Mm.
See,
Mm.
that was to force dudes to be studs,
Mm.
to be these uh, breeders or
Right.
these breeding places.
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie 12 Years a Slave, the missus of the house took the baby away, sold the mother's baby away, and the mother was crying. And she said in the movie, she said, "Don't worry, she'll get over it." And my wife Agnes was in the movie with me, and when she heard that, she won't even look at the movie. She doesn't want
Mm.
to hear nothing about 12, because that's like weaning cattle, man. Do you know that? You
Yeah.
know what you do with a dog after you wean a dog?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this is an indication that they were weaning people. Uh,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
it's it's amazing. Um, it's amazing. My father told me that his grandmother, who was my great grandmother, she would be working in the cotton field and go into labor, and she would scoop dirt out to make a little hole and drop the baby in a hole, get the umbilical cord loose, and continue to work in the cotton fields until sundown, and then she'd go home. And his grandfather wouldn't know he had another child until he came out there at sunset.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I thought my old man was full of bull,
Mm-hmm.
until I realized that he had sat on his grandmother's lap and she had held him in her bosom and told him those stories,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
told him about her life.
Yeah.
So, and everybody, all the veterans who come on here, all the guys who come on here, when they reflect in the family, they know about that
Yeah.
because their family told them about that,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
how terrible it was. Um, People from North Carolina, I knew Reverend Douglas Moore, who led the first sit-in, really. The first sit-in wasn't in Greensboro. The first sit-in was in Durham,
In Durham.
led by Reverend Douglas Moore. And you know what he told me?
What was that?
He said they burned down all the courthouses in North Carolina so blacks couldn't trace that they had property because they kept the property titles in the courthouse.
Wow.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
so, so there wouldn't have been a fishing industry. Off of the coast, Hatteras and all that off the coast, the fishing industry. You know who did that? Our ancestors. You
Mm-hmm.
know who built all the railroads in the South?
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, people ask me, we in Black History Month, people ask me all the time about it. I said, look, man, America would be a third world nation if it hadn't been for the free labor
Right.
of
Yep.
my ancestors.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I really get mad, Chester, now you got me started in Black History Month. I really get mad when I hear about, we were entrepreneurs. This country was built with entrepreneurship, European entrepreneurs who were willing to take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the most expensive cost in any business is labor cost.
Absolutely.
And if you have 200 years of free labor and can't make it, what kind of entrepreneur are you?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Yeah.
one in the White House.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I knew you'd bring that up.
Like
Yeah.
that one in the White House, the one that can't stay out of fraud court.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he can't, he can't hold a business up.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he touched turned to shit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bill, you was talking about the free labor. Now, I mean, me as a kid, man, growing up in North Carolina, um, my dad had his garage was right on the railroad track. Um, and I remember the chain gangs when they back in the chain gang days. And
yep.
man, I done seen them chain gangs with them boys in them striped suits coming down that railroad with them iron whatever the hell you call them,
I'm
Yeah.
picking and
crowbars or
everything.
whatever, adjusting them tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, and that was just something like common to see all the time, man. Keeping them railroads straight. So yeah, you're right. You're right. That free labor.
Free
Yeah.
labor is built the
Mm-hmm.
country.
And that continued after Reconstruction died because you had the black codes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a book out written by a white man called Slavery by Another Name, The
Oh,
Yeah.
Reenslaving of Blacks.
yeah, with the prison systems,
Oh yeah, black codes.
with the black codes and prison systems, and
If I caught Ron and he couldn't tell me he had a job somewhere, Ron was going to Florida work in the forest out there,
Mm.
uh,
chopping wood, and they may never hear from Ron again.
Mm.
which is exactly what they're trying to do now. Because I don't know if you've seen where the Trump regime has been trying to buy up all these warehouses around the country.
Hey,
Right.
man, concentration camps.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to revisit that again.
Mm.
Because that's all they're going to do is they're going to get those people, lock them up there, and they're going to make them forced labor. Right? Because
Wow.
there's no profit in just keeping them there. They're paying these companies to house them, but they're eventually going to plan on turning them into free labor. That's exactly what they're doing, and they're buying up warehouses, Amazon warehouses, all over the country right now for that same purpose.
Mm.
So
Man,
Now, how long you think this gonna last, Smitty? You think they're once Trump? I mean, I know it's not just Trump now,
right.
but once he come out of there, you think they're gonna still be pushing that?
I don't believe so, but right now you got to understand that Trump is the catalyst. Trump is the face of it because they can blame it all on Trump. But you got these billionaires like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and all these guys. These billionaires are the ones that are behind that. So it's not he's ignorant. So basically, he signed whatever they put in front of him. But
Smitty, Smitty. You didn't give that joker too much education already.
I
You,
agree.
You because an ignorant man is smart.
Okay.
All right. That's all I'm gonna say.
But there's a lot of billionaires, a lot of really rich guys with some really messed up ideas about. Matter of fact, like I said, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are trying to create a new South Africa in the United States. That's what they're to do, right? Both of these guys come from rich families in South Africa. When they got ran out of South Africa, they decided that, hey, we can plant our seeds right here in America and we can turn America into South Africa. And that's what they're trying to do. And they're the ones funneling all this money in to make these things happen. You got a bunch of other folks that are in line with them that want to make it happen. The J.D. Vances, the Stephen Millers, all those guys want to make it. They're bought into the ideology, but these are the guys that are financing it. And you need to keep an eye on them.
And then you gotta look at they already knew what side to run on. They already knew Trump had told them early on in his that if I ever run for president, I'm gonna run as a Republican because they dumb as rocks.
Right.
And you think about it, most of them guys that you talking about were part of the Democrat system in some way, maybe not directly, but indirectly, before they found out that they could go on the other side and use the hell out of them.
Right.
Because they gonna fall right into place. Because, like I said, this thing is about getting people who are dumb enough to want something and not understand that they selling their souls to get something. That means, in other words, saying that they're out there, putting their lives on the line because they want something, and that's something that they want is money and power. And they think that's going to be their something to take them over the top, when they don't really understand that it's not going to work. I listened to this spoken word guy. His name is Talam Acey. And some of the stuff he talks about us as a people, and he's and he incorporates a lot of stuff about drug dealers and selling drugs. And one of the things that he talk about is, you selling drugs, understand that you hurting your people, and you helping his thing is you're helping them destroy your people.
Right.
And but the way that he says it, I mean, I can't even repeat his exact words. But if you ever listen to spoken word dude named Talam Acey, yeah, I mean, you talking about a brother who, I think he was like 24, and he was teaching uh, accounting. I think it was accounting at Rutgers University. Right. Rutgers, it was a big school, but he was only 24 years old. He was, he teaching people his age pretty much,
Right.
But yeah, that's just we are where we are. And you guys talk about Black History Month. um I've sent Chester a couple things. Like, my grandmother used to tell me about the Wilmington riots of 1898. And she used to tell me that her grandfather was part of that those people that were kicked out of the political system, because Wilmington was one of the few cities around that had meshed together black and white and whatever else, Native American and everything, to form their government. And they didn't like that. And they came in, and of course, oh, he looked at me, that kind of thing. And then all hell broke loose.
Right.
And my grandmother was born, what, 24 years after that. So it was still hot, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Yep.
One of the things I would point out about South Africa, the apartheid system in South Africa was based on Jim Crow in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Uh, uh, and even some of the Nazis came here to look at the Jim Crow system to incorporate, try to have something like that in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends sent me some pictures. I may not have them anymore, but he sent me some pictures of 30s in the 30s of blacks in prison being tortured. So this stuff continued for many years. Black people really didn't get free in America until 1965, when you had the Voting Rights Act.
Exactly.
Uh, and to me, to this day, I still say that we're not accepted as human beings. I listen to what DeSanto said. Slavery benefited them.
Mm-hmm.
Look what they got from our slavery. They weren't hurt. And you have people running around here talking that garbage.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Sometimes
Your boys.
I think what Bobby Jones said has a lot of truth to it. That we haven't educated our young people properly.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be because we didn't want them to learn about the harsh things that our ancestors experienced,
Right.
not recognizing that our ancestors' spirit was in these young people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because if each of us talked about the things that influenced them, you'd remind yourself of the influence your ancestors had on you.
Amen.
I often think that they never really died because they live inside of us.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just shared on a kind of podcast I was on earlier today about, and I shared this with you the last time I was on. Things that motivated me. It wasn't no really highly educated stuff. It was stuff that I learned from my father, and I learned in the community, listening to people say, you know, uh, uh, be too dumb to quit.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in my neighborhood, man, we were all on the corner. I never forget, up at Georgia Avenue and Hobart Street, arguing about who was the best fighters in our neighborhood. And the older guy, we gave all the names, and he told us, y'all are all wrong. And he gave us two names, and he said neither one of them can fight a lick, but they're too dumb to quit. You have to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because they'll fight you all day.
Yeah.
You can beat them all day, and they won't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went through one of the most difficult things in my life, which was going through pilot training, what motivated me was what I learned at Georgia Avenue and Hobart Street.
Yeah.
Be too dumb to quit.
Mm.
Don't know when you're defeated. Just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby, you in basketball, you know that if you've been in any sports,
That's right.
I can't lose. I don't care if we.
I ain't going down there to fight.
Nah.
One time a guy came and saw us playing, told us a joke. Said he saw these guys playing baseball, and in the hot summer summer heat. He said, "What's the score?" And they said, 18-0. He said, "And y'all are still playing?" I said, "Don't worry, mister. We haven't got up yet."
That's it. It ain't got up yet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
18-0.
Mhm.
It runs back.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that's cool.
so it's these simple things
Yeah.
that we learn that are passed on by the people and uh, that we're surrounded with, that we love, that came from, were in our family, uh, and we should honor that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I always want to say another thing is that we watch Black History, and of course it's Black History Month, and we talk about it,
Mhm.
and it's a wonderful thing. But unfortunately, in our community, a lot of times we look at our history as starting with slavery, and our history goes back thousands and thousands of years, right, on different continents around the world. But we need to embrace that. We need to educate ourselves on the cultures, because our families were snatched up out of cultures that were thousands and thousands of years. We built cities, we sailed ships, we built libraries, we educated people, and we don't spend enough time talking about that part of our history. We want to start our history at the shores of America, and that's not where our history starts. And
That's right, Smith.
start talking about that. We need to educate our people about that, because if you talk about it just starting in Jamestown in 1619, yeah, I can see where you can get depressed, but hey, there was people doing major things well before then, and we got to
Mhm.
talk about those things, and we got to embrace those as a community to bring our community back.
Mhm. Yeah.
Did
Now,
you?
you guys are the educators, Bobby. I don't know if y'all. I mean, Mac, you educator. I mean, do they even teach stuff like that in school? I mean, I didn't hear too much about what Smitty's talking about, or even what they did to us when they brought us over here, like the slave, like the I call them the breeding camps and all that kind of crap. But you know,
Like I like I said before, right? A lot of the stuff I learned before I went to the African American Museum, a lot of that stuff I had already known. Miss Ann Jones, Bancroft Middle School, Wilmington, Delaware. I learned all that stuff from her. Like I said, and we had to write note after note, and she write notes on the board all day. You wear your hands out. She wearing, and it went back before 1619.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, we learning about Toussaint Louverture and all the way back, past that, because Ann Jones did her homework. She was traveling to Africa when I know I wasn't thinking about Africa,
Mhm.
hmm
but she was traveling to Africa to learn this history.
hmm
And I learned so much from her as far as that. And well, I'm not gonna say I'm speaking I for me, but we as young Black kids going to predominantly Black schools, you learn that.
hmm
um or say we learn that. But yeah, so I definitely understand what Smitty's saying, and it gives you a touch of pride along with the negativity, along with the hurt and everything else. That part gives you a sense of pride. I mean, she took us back to the building of the pyramids, because it wasn't no levels and
No.
yardsticks and tape measures, right? But that's some of the best angles and the best corners and everything. They didn't have chop saws and sawzalls. You know what I mean? But they got it done. How did they get it done?
Well, first of all, they
And then you
invented
got to look at their skin color.
right.
And then if y'all the that dude occupying 1600, he just gave us a whole lot of credit. His dumb ass didn't even realize it when he did the little speech talking about America built everything.
Yep.
Everything he said, he don't even know that it was accomplished by a black man.
Absolutely.
Everything that he mentioned in that speech
Right.
about what America has, the light bulb and the telephone and all, everything in there was a black man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his dumb ass don't even realize he did it.
Nope.
There was let me just share this. There, there was a program on National Geographic. Will Smith, he does a program called Pole to Pole,
Right.
and his January the 17th episode, which I would encourage you to look at, is about him being on the Kalahari Desert with the sand people. And what he did, he showed Will Smith climbing up this mountain with the sand, with this guy who's sand people. Some people call them bushmen.
Right.
Uh, and he shows them a monument that shows that the sand people on the Kalahari Desert are the oldest human beings on Earth.
Mm.
And then he brings them back, and then he comes back down into the sand people's village, and they do some things. And I had heard about them because a professor that had taught me in graduate school did his doctoral dissertation study on the Kalahari Desert of the Sand People.
Mm.
And I was blown away because he told me how these guys could go on the desert, and the guys, they laughed at Will Smith because his hands were soft and his feet were soft, and they could walk on the sand and feel where animals were barefoot.
Mm.
And the dude knew where his water was on the desert, and he went and dug and pulled up an ostrich egg canteen and drank from it. And my professor had shown me in grad school an ostrich canteen that he brought from the Kalahari Desert, being out there with the sand people.
Wow.
But the big thing about it was the way they survived was they shared with each other, and they understood that they had to be together. And the only other people, the reason I was blown away, because the only other people that I saw that were like that was a group in Mindanao in the Philippines.
Mm. The Negritos.
No, not the Negritos,
Not
the
the Negritos.
Tassadai, the Tassadai, the
Okay.
Tassadai down in Mindanao. Man, they share
Mm.
everything, and
Mm.
that's what these sand people did. They shared everything, and then I was then some of that. The Eskimos do some of the same things. They talked about the sand people will share their wives with you if you don't have a wife,
Mm.
Mm.
and the Eskimos do that too.
Mm.
They share everything because they know they can't exist without each other.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell Chester that.
Mm. My ears kind of perked up when he said they shit it wide.
Hey, look, I seen that Spock shoot up. Look like Spock when your ear popped up.
I ain't want to say nothing, but good.
but what amazed me about it is that this is the oldest. They are the oldest DNA. They have the oldest DNA of human Homo sapiens on Earth.
Wow.
So you hear about one of the things you hear in the history we were taught was that knowledge came from Europe down south. That's not true.
Negative. Negative.
Knowledge came from the Rift Valley up to the Mediterranean. Because all you have to do is go to Sudan and look where the first cataract is. And what Bobby Jones said is true. There's
Yeah.
a book in the Library of Congress. I forgot the name of it because it's been many years. But you can't get to read this book unless you belong to a certain society. And it talks about how perfect the stones cut in the pyramids are,
Mm-hmm.
how perfect they are. I was in England one time watching on BBC, and they had a show about how the natives knew how to move these heavy stones, and they knew how to move them. How could you move a stone that heavy? So they say Greco-Roman wrestling is really African wrestling. The Greeks got that from a group in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
What they do in the Olympics, Greco-Roman
The,
wrestling.
the Greeks stole everything from Africa because they actually sent all their students to Africa to get educated. So what we consider Western civilization actually came from Africa.
The tango. I was down in Argentina, and the tango is a big dance. You know where the tango comes from? Africa.
Africa.
Flamenco dancing of the Spanish comes from Africa.
Africa.
Mm.
That's what we need to pass on to our children.
Absolutely.
And in Black History Month, that and you see similarities, which shows that Homo sapiens that came out of Africa migrated around the world because they have similar culture in the indigenous people where they have to exist. They
Mm-hmm.
have such similar cultural patterns
Absolutely.
of sharing with each other, sticking together as a community, and all of those things. And they never considered land, private ownership of land. That's
Mm-hmm.
why that's why it was easy to take land from the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
They had no concept of how could you own something you didn't create.
Exactly.
And you find that same attitude in Africa and Asia. You can't own something you didn't create.
Right.
So private land ownership only came to Europe after the fall of the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So all this from this we ought to realize that our ancestors are the reason that man has advanced the way it is.
Absolutely.
With our ancestors and us.
Right.
If, would there have been any social change in the U.S. if it hadn't been for our people?
None. None.
Uh,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I
Mm-hmm.
give a lot of the glory to young people because in the civil rights movement, Ron knows this. In the South, it was young people out there in the streets getting hit in the head.
Mm-hmm.
South Africa, it was the children
Yep.
that did it because they were out protesting. So when we share facts with them, they act and they do things that we never dreamed of.
Mm-hmm.
I know and you got a point there. I know the schools around here, um, definitely the district that I work in, they've been doing ICE protests, so they let the kids walk out and protest against ICE.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So this week, one school did it last Friday. Another one did it, what's the day? Did it on Monday. And I don't know when the other one did it, but yeah, the high school definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, got to get the kids involved.
Absolutely. Yep. And they'll understand later on and appreciate it where we're going.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It's critical. And we were talking about to stay on history. You know, all the civilization, like I said, from Greek culture, including all the Greek gods and all that came from Africa. And then at the fall of the Roman Empire, when Europe was in the Dark Ages, all them Africans crossed the Iberian Peninsula, went back and they conquered Spain and most of Europe and retaught Europeans again. So they civilized Europe twice, not once, but twice. And it was black people that did it both times.
Well, I wanted to start with some Black history, but we're not going to do it all night, being this is Black History Month. I stay on social media a lot that I don't really see a lot of people putting up a lot of stuff on Black history, you know, so I figured maybe, you know, we'll kick this off with this little session off with some Black history. But another thing, we gonna get into what was this you brought up, Bill, right at the beginning?